What's good, y'all? I'm Jerry, about to check out 10 biggest WWE title downgrades in history. This video is about WrestleMania. Biggest title downgrades would have to be like, I would say the Spinner Championship. I hate that the design. At first I liked it because it fit John Cena at the time, but it lasted way too long. Once somebody else won the title, the design should have changed. Maybe like 5 or 10 years after John Cena big run was over. But overall, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and about to hop into this video. Let's go.
When WWE introduces a new version of an established title, the new title design should have a distinct purpose. The new design should stand out, but it should also enhance the established title by respecting the past yet embracing the future. Unfortunately, over the years, WWE has been heavily criticized when it comes to their title makeovers, as some of the designs have been less than flattering and leaked to fans wanting to see the old design make a dramatic return. Join us now as
I would love to see the original World Heavyweight Championship come back.
Title downgrades.
What they got? Number 2, number 10.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. Number 10, ECW title. The original ECW title was used on WWE programming when the company relaunched ECW in 2006. This was the right move, as the title is a perfect representation of what ECW is, and the title certainly changed fans. Sadly, a few years into the relaunch of ECW, the WWE version of ECW had completely lost its way, and it was nowhere near what made ECW so popular. WWE knew that the ECW title represented the old era, so they made the call to introduce a brand new version of the ECW title. On the July 22nd, 2008 edition of ECW, Teddy Long presented Mark Henry with the new title design. The design featured a large black leather strap with a silver centerpiece. And the obvious issue with the title is the fact that it's silver as opposed to gold. This was further evidence that WWE didn't value the ECW brand, and fans saw the silver design as yet another spit in the face to ECW faithfuls. Number 9, tag team titles. The WWE up until the 2010 seemed to have a great understanding of what design to go with for the tag titles. However, in 2010, WWE ditched the two respective tag title designs.
They brought them big bronze penny-looking championship.
WWE would have Bret Hart present the Hart Dynasty with the new titles, which were belts with black leather and a copper centerpiece. These title designs were instantly met with negative reviews because it was so unimaginative and lifeless. It was such a terrible design, and even the individual who made the belts, Dave Millican, was fully aware that the fans would hate it. Speaking on the Pancakes and Power Slams podcast, he stated, "I begged them, please let me make them nickel, let me make them gold, let me make them silver and gold. Just don't make me do copper," and it just came down from the top that copper is what they wanted. I think in particular, Stephanie McMahon really just wanted to do something different. Yeah, different doesn't always mean better. Number 8, Raw tag titles. The WWE would stick with the dreaded copper design for the next 6 years,
but they
until reports
colored it red.
It was set to debut new tag titles on Raw. In late 2016, they finally revealed the new titles, and they were presented in a lackluster backstage segment. The copper center and side pieces were now silver, which was a great decision, but the strap was now red to represent Monday Night Raw. The design was unbelievably lazy. It must have taken WWE about 30 seconds to come up with. The main reason that they introduced a new tag design was to match SmackDown's version of the tag titles, as the version for SmackDown was the exact same, just with a blue strap to represent SmackDown Live. Number 7, NXT title. Due to WWE giving NXT a soft relaunch,
the original title was ugly.
They decided to give the NXT title a slight makeover. The gold centerpiece would now have various colors filtered into it, and although it was a slight tweak on a popular design, it was completely pointless.
I like the black and gold.
The design wasn't too noticeable. When the TV lights hit the title at the right angle, the changes to the design became apparent. And to say that it didn't look great on live TV would be an understatement. One of the reasons why fans hated the new design was that it felt like WWE were changing everything that made NXT different.
They did the 2.0 thing.
Reason to modify the top title on the brand in such an unflattering manner. Number 6, the Cruiserweight title. The WWE couldn't have produced a better design for the Cruiserweight title in the early 2000s. The title delivered the perfect balance of honouring the WCW version of the Cruiserweight title, whilst representing the WWE branding and style of titles that were common during the respective time. When they revamped the Cruiserweight division in 2016, there was a push from fans to see the title design return, or at the very least modify it for a modern audience.
They should have did that.
Unfortunately, WWE didn't want to honour the design in any way, and their design choice wasn't what fans had in mind. The new version of the title would have a hideous purple strap which was supposed to represent the branding of 205 Live, and the centre and side pieces would be silver, and of course WWE plastered a big WWE logo in the centre.
Of course.
It was underwhelming, and it could certainly be argued that the title looked like a toy that was made by Mattel. Number 5, the Women's Divas title.
Oh yeah.
Between 2008 to 2010.
Back then it made sense because they had the Divas division
on the show, the Divas title and the Women's title. When the two were unified in 2010, fans hoped that the classic Women's title would be used, as that version of the title
they
had
retired
a
the Women's
appearance,
Championship.
and the consensus on the Divas title design wasn't the best. They made the daring move to completely abandon the Women's title design, and the Divas title would now be the primary Women's title in the division. Whilst not a makeover as such, WWE believing that the butterfly design of the Divas title was a better look than the classic Women's title was without a doubt a creative mishap. In terms of direct makeovers that WWE have made to establish the Women's title, they once allowed LA Cool to carry half of the classic Women's title, each which looked totally ridiculous, and it made the title look like an utter joke. Additionally, when the WWE revamped the SmackDown and Raw,
I like Rhea Ripley's championship more than no one.
Asuka's new design received criticism. A new version of the title, simply named the Women's title, would be similar to Roman Reigns' Undisputed title, but with a white strap. Most of the negative feedback came from the fact that the centerpiece said Women's Undisputed Champion, which seemed like an odd choice as Asuka hasn't unified the Women's title.
Yeah.
Number 4, Undisputed title.
I like the original Undisputed Championship. That's like one of my favorite championships.
When WWE ditched having the big gold belt and the big eagle representing the Undisputed Championship, they introduced
brought that one. I love that design. That's one of my favorite designs
This was
ever.
a small gold world title that at first looked rather underwhelming, and fans at that time were disappointed to see the WWE go from two universally beloved designs to a design that looked rather basic. Gradually, over time, the consensus on the design
it started looking good.
When wrestlers such as The Rock, Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle had the belt over their shoulder, it looked incredible.
It looked great.
It was a perfect belt for TV, and the title design is now often named as one of the more underrated title designs that WWE have ever come up with. Number 3, the big gold belt. Now, it goes without saying that the big gold belt is one of the most popular title designs in pro wrestling history. WWE used the title initially as the WCW World title, then in 2002 it became their permanent world title on Raw to counteract SmackDown, who had the WWE Championship. One of the reasons the title stands out is because the gold centerpiece is so noticeable and grand, and whenever a wrestler wears it over their shoulder or around their waist, they look incredible.
Yep.
Names such as Ric Flair, Booker T, Goldberg, and Sting all looked like $1 million with the title, and it was truly the definitive world title. However, over time, WWE began to shrink the world title design down, and this was met with heavy criticism. The design became smaller and smaller, and when wrestlers such as Mark Henry and Big Show won the prestigious gold, the title looked kind of ridiculous. Number 2, Intercontinental title.
I like the new version of it.
WWE decided it was finally time to introduce new design for the Intercontinental title. This wasn't a decision that fans were excited about, as the present design of the IC title was classic, popular, and more importantly,
I like the one Gunther has now.
The new design had a black strap with a gold center and side pieces. It was hard to get used to, and most of the negative feedback came from fans questioning what the point of the redesign was. Whilst fans have somewhat managed to get used to the new design, the design is certainly missing something, and that's the color blue. Fan art showing the belt with blue added to the center is a vast improvement, and even the title on a white strap would make the title look 100% better. And number 1, WWE title.
Not that spinner shit.
There have been a number of custom WWE titles over the years, and without a doubt the most infamous was John Cena's custom WWE title, first introduced in 2005. At first, fans assumed that this was a basic gimmick belt and that the design was...
It should have been just a gimmick belt.
The title. In fact, WWE continued to use the title for the next 8 years. The design was scolded by fans as outside of Cena, the title looked unusual on names such as Triple H, Randy Orton,
Batista especially.
The reason the design overstayed its welcome was ultimately money.
Merchandise
the design
sales.
was incredibly popular with the young demographic, and they weren't going to pass up selling replica versions of the spinner belt. WWE did eventually make a slight modification
it didn't
to the
spin
design
no more.
as it would fix the WWE logo in the center so it would stop spinning. This was a vast improvement, but even still, it would have made more logical sense for WWE to introduce a new version of the title and keep the spinner title exclusively for Cena. But there you have it, folks. 10 of the biggest WWE.
Alright, y'all, great video, man. Let me know down below in the comments of what y'all thought of my reaction to this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I apologize for the video being dark, but up to next time, I'm out. Peace.